Welcome back to Bridges and Breakdowns. If you are under the sound of my voice, you have returned for another episode of the serious and unserious musings of your two favorite millennials. I am Aliza, here with my co-host, the beautiful, talented, multifaceted, multi-hyphenated Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Yes, we are two millennials posted up as the bridge generation between 5 generations who love to tussle. Every episode, we take you on a journey trying to find that sweet spot of what integrates the best of what these generations have to offer. Do we build a bridge? Do we break one down? All that and more. Come, join us. Listen, this episode especially, July, is National Mental Health Awareness Month for minorities. More specifically, it's recognized as the B.B. Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah,
you also referred
to a full name.
I did. And you know why? Friend, I actually had this lore to share with you today. Do you know who B.B. Moore Campbell was? And you're the avid reader. She's an author, a Black author. And I think she just might be, maybe for our mother's generation.
Is she Maya Moore's mama?
Thank you. Exactly.
Okay, so I actually do know who she is, but I didn't realize it.
I didn't know that was her mom. So yes, B.B. Moore is an author, and she, with I believe NAMI, or the National American Mental Health Institute, or Association for Mental Illness. Yeah. So this National Organization for Mental Health coined, or made July the B.B. Moore Campbell month because of her gift as an author and her ability to tell impactful stories, highlighting themes of racism, mental health, and family. And it left a long-lasting mark on the world. She is deceased, but there is, of course, her work has outlived her. But her work was really foundational for kind of shining a light on the struggles of Black and Indigenous people dealing with mental health in literature. And I did not realize honestly, it shook me a little bit when I realized that was Maya's mom. And for those listeners, we are 90s, we're 80s babies, but 90s girls. And Maya Campbell is one of the original it girls, hot girls. You might know her from In the House as Tiffany. Or the Sweet Lady video star. Or
in 17 Again. She was the big sister that wanted Jean.
Yes, she has publicly also struggled with her mental illness. She, I think, is diagnosed as a bipolar. And I just remember back when we were in college, even when we were in like the World Star days, there was like a lot of videos of her having like very public episodes. And it was so sad. She was really down bad, but she has since
back up.
Yeah, she's back up. She's like, she had children that she lost custody of. Now she's back in her children's lives. But it is just so profound to see that like her mother also died young, like in her early 50s or something. So she lost her mother young. And to see her have to publicly deal with, living with a very serious mental disorder.
Right.
Yeah, I just, that was really, I wanted to drop that for you. I didn't know if you knew that because doing the research for the episode, I was like, oh my God. God is amazing. For that to be her mother to kind of create a month that is refuge for her own child is incredible.
Right. Yeah, the name sounded familiar, but I didn't want to jump out the window because I wasn't exactly sure. But I did know that, and I don't know how I know that. I'm evolving information.
You just be knowing things, yeah. But this month being the National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, we wanted to have a special episode today where we are focusing both on awareness and moving from awareness to action. So how we as Black women, as a Black community, as people of color, are managing and improving our mental health with an incredible conversation on the main stage with a very esteemed guest. Stay tuned.
Check it out.
But first, we're going to hop into the Glow and Grow segment where we just take a minute to reflect on the week, figure out what is something that we would like to share that we grew from, because ain't no losses over here, just lessons, words to clips, daddy. So that is our grow, and our glow is something we're proud of. So Lauren, would you like to start? What was your glow and your grow for the week, sister? You might as well just give us the 2 for 1.
Give it to us. All right. So, my grow, I busted my budget big time, big time.
Month ain't even over yet.
Month not over.
Jump scare.
Finna go out of town. Just pray for me, saints. Yes. What was I doing? I was preparing for my birthday, which is next month. So August 15th. Give me a whoop if you're listening. Yeah, life, and I don't know, I just been real impulsive. So I've been kind of making some impulsive purchases, and just was not the best month for me financially. But
I understand.
I'm hopeful that come September I'll be back on it, because August is a wash.
Yeah,
because it's my birthday, and that's my own personal national holiday. So
yeah, she takes her birthday very seriously, as most Leos do. Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
well, what's the positive? What's the glow? I'm glad you started with the stressful part.
Because it ain't really. Yes, it is stressful. I don't know. I'm in the mood. My glow is, you're gonna laugh, but I feel really sexy and I don't know.
I was about to say something real biomedical. Are you ovulating? Because sometimes,
which is probably why. But I also, because I've been this past week.
I'm just a hot bitch. It's okay.
I'm in heat. The undercarriage, or my undercarriage, no.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's because my birthday. I'm just really embracing, getting another year older, although I'm always eternally 27. If you look at my birth certificate, it will say that I'll be turning 36. So, I don't know. I feel good. I feel excited to have another year, another opportunity to
cheers to you.
Better refine myself.
I love that, actually. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So thanks, friend.
Yeah.
What about you, girl?
My glow is that I'm really grateful that I made it through last week. It was I feel like every week I'm like, oh, this is going to be a rough week and then I'm going to get a break. But actually made it to Sunday. My little baby got dedicated before the Lord. We had his baby dedication down to the church house, and it was, a master class in managing a household and having multiple priorities concurrently. And we did it. We made it to the altar. That's all.
Praise. And y'all look good. Y'all look good. Aww, would never known anything was amiss, because I was I was taking all the pictures. It was great. Well, y'all didn't look it. Y'all didn't look it.
Yeah.
Until Pastor accidentally thought that
he misgendered my baby.
Girl. Mm-hmm. I said, ooh, yes, he didn't go like that.
Oh my God. I told him, and I realized now that I watched it back, you couldn't pick up what I said to him on the microphone, which was probably good. I was like, not this. First, yes, I know he's pretty. This is a son. This is my boy. The Kappa agenda is not going to be, the force is not going to be over here. I know the baby's pretty, but he is very much clearly a boy. But
you ain't have his Dirty D hat on. That's what I was looking for.
That is so funny. He took that hat off. That baby was not going to wear that hat down to the altar. It was just not. He wasn't going. We have pictures with it. Did not make it to the altar. But it was very sweet. We had a great experience, and I'm really grateful that we got to share that with family. And my grow is probably connected to how challenging the week was. I'm going to start trying to pay more attention to my sleep hygiene, because I crashed on Sunday. I legitimately took a Sunday nap and it turned into sleep, like sleep. I was gone. I woke up to nurse him to sleep with I was like, what time did I go to bed? But they woke me up at bedtime for the kids to be like, hey, your baby needs you. But it was very much deserved, because I've been I busted my ass last week, and for good things, and I'm gonna do the same this week. But God is good. He's yet keeping us. So, I'm going to start paying more attention to my body. That is my grow, no losses, just lessons. Well, now that y'all have heard a little bit more about how our week was, we are going to turn the lens over to Woo Girl. Fran, what is that segment?
Yeah. So, if you've been here for a while, Woo Girl is our pop culture society segment where we just talk about what the hell is going on. We'd like to kick it off. We're going to start with one of my favorites of the weekend, which is the WNBA All-Star Weekend. Oh my gosh, it was in Indy. If you didn't have an opportunity to check it out, please do. Next year, we're going to be in there as the Power Straight. I ain't come up with a name yet, but we're going to be like the counterparts to the StudBudz.
That's hilarious.
We already had practice at our friend's engagement party. We almost reconnected the couple, but then we found out who the person was, and then we had to abort the mission. But we were giving very much StudBudz energy and keeping the party live.
It was fun. We definitely were our own street team. We was pressing niggas. It was great, actually.
It was great. Ooh. It was just good. I felt like charged, like Raiden. Speaking of, this is my ADHD. Mortal Kombat 2. Did you see the trailer? fire. I'm very excited.
But I'll go watch it as soon as we wrap.
Very good. But yeah, so anyway, All-Star Weekend. It was amazing. There was all of the fanfare of the elite players that were able to join in the All-Star. If you know anything about the hoopla, Caitlin Clark was there, but she did not participate because she had a groin injury. And so they brought my girl Slim, Brittany Sykes, in from the Washington Mystics, which I was very, very happy. She was super duper excited. This is what she wanted to do.
Caitlin Clark was walking around like Marla Hooch. I swear. I be like, y'all are playing with this girl being straight. Y'all are playing with me.
She has a boyfriend.
And so did Khadijah James. And so did Khadijah James.
But Khadijah James was fiction. I just think Caitlin, because I saw her when she was at the party. First of all, she knew Mario, which you got to be deep in some nigga shit. Who fucking knows? She brought him up to the stage and was like, hollering. They was doing the shout out. Some song came on. She was rapping. Caitlin would like to be her full self, but the racists have latched on, tried to make her Miss America and shit. So I feel like she's like stuck in the box. But she seemed like she cool people. I'm glad that she sat out because she has been hot garbage this season, likely because of her injury, but also because most of the league has figured out how to stop her. She shoots, but she has a lot of work that needs to be done from a defense and just moving around the floor. But insane passing. But yeah, so it was just a great time. Anybody who knows the league should have known that Team Collier was going to win. That's Nafisa's team. It had all the OGs on there.
First of all, she's so fucking beautiful. She's just gorgeous.
Yeah, like
smart. Like she can do anything. I'm just that legit. Woman is an Amazonian queen. And did you know her grandfather is like he helped broker independence for Sierra Leone? Like
I sure
you just
did.
come from good stock, girl, and just big and beautiful. And her husband cute too. Don't let me have that's premium milk.
Actually, let's not go too far. He's cute. Yeah, no, I wouldn't add him to the list, but he's not bad looking.
Well, I saw this from the StudBudz camera when they were like, he's a good man, so bad.
Oh yeah,
because he knows how to play
attractive.
His role.
Yeah,
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole package of like not just face card. They're a beautiful couple, and to see a man be able to just show up and like have his woman be a star, and you very much are playing your position. Love that.
That does make him a lot more attractive. Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's definitely a great man. But yeah, it was a fun time. I felt like I was there because of the StudBudz, which if you haven't heard about them now,
get them girls a deal.
Get them girls a deal. That's Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann. I don't know how to say her last name, but they are on the Minnesota Lynx. They are two studs that just be talking shit. They started off just on Twitch. I have never watched a Twitch in my life, and I watched their Twitch for 72 hours. They
literally bridged a generation. Like, we would make fun of children. Like, Gen Z watching streamers is always weird. And here go everybody else, big grown ass, watching a stream for the whole weekend. Just watching them go around and shenan. I loved it.
It was so much fun. And just seeing all of them have fun and seeing their personalities was just amazing.
The W is lit. Like, clearly they are on an ascension. I'm so excited for women's basketball.
Absolutely. Pay them girls what they owe. We don't have time to go into that whole thing. But if you sitting up here talking about they don't return a profit, go do your read. Go do your Googles because you're misinformed about the situation. And buy a t-shirt from the WNBA because they need to have
That's
all
the Players Association.
That's the Players Association. Yes. They wore the shirts. They're going to have another some type of political protest soon. So go ahead and commit your dollars to the fund because they're playing in their faces currently. But I believe that they will lock out if they need to, and they're gonna get their just dues. Much love to the WNBA. I'm so excited. Can't wait till we're there in 2026. Next quick drop. We are talking about the Black farmers. So, again, Trump. It's just the Project 2025 plan is just rolling out another stop of its 900-page agenda, and this time it is to decimate the gains that have been made within farming to address some of the discrimination that happened towards socially disadvantaged groups. So if you aren't aware, which last week, the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, reversed a 35-year old policy that was meant to help Black farmers in favor of a race-neutral approach. They announced that they were eliminating the term socially disadvantaged, which describes farmers or ranchers who have been subjected to racial, ethnic, or gender discrimination, which includes Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian groups. Basically, because they're getting rid of DEI, they are trying to eliminate everything that could be possibly connected to it, and they're able to get money through this program, which they were previously cut off from within the Black Belt. This was adopted in 1990 for the Farm Bill to deliver resources to all the minority farmers. There was also the 2501 program, which required the USDA to produce outreach and technical assistance to historically underserved farmers to ensure that they have access to grants and other resources so they can keep their land and, like, when there's hard seasons, be able to, you know, hold themselves over if they're not able to yield crops.
And the Black Belt is the agricultural South. So like the rural, so like Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia. So think the rural South. We're honestly, most of the highest populations of Black people in this country.
Our farms, And so now that they are dropping the use of the term socially disadvantaged, and they'll no longer consider race or sex-based criteria in this decision-making for these types of programs, they stated that they believe that, or one, that the USDA wants to uphold the principles of meritocracy, fairness, and equal opportunity for all participants. And then they even went further to say that the department has sufficiently addressed its history of discrimination through litigation that has resulted in settlements, relief, and reform, which is absolutely not true. Biden's administration did quite a bit to support Black farmers and the farmers that were under this, but they still got sued because it was not enough to make up for the disparities within support and access. When asked about, the USDA was like, question like, hey, this change, reversal in policy is going to impact pretty much 4% of like the nation's 3.3 million farmers. Like, everybody else is going to be fine because they've been getting the loans. They've been, having this access. They didn't have any response for that. Just that they're going to make sure that everybody can benefit. And, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
If I do say so myself, with socially disadvantaged groups, there's lots of people who can fall under that umbrella and who will still get more help over Black people.
But the blanket lie of it no longer being necessary, right? Race neutral is such a lie. Girl, I was like, when I saw the news of that, what rang in my head was I'm like, this is something I feel like we read about recently. There was a class action lawsuit, like maybe in the past 5 years. The Black farmers who were sold fake seeds in 2018. So we're talking about something that within like not even a decade ago, Black farmers specifically were actually sold and targeted. Like just the Black farmers were sold
the Black farmers.
Fake seeds so that their crops, they legitimately, the white farmers that season of soybean their farms of the same size, the same rain, same sun, same conditions, same chemicals. They were having 100 bushels yields, and the Black farmers were having 4 and 5. And they're like, "What is this?" I know they had to put their own noggins together and coins to go send those seeds
and get tested
at a private university. They're like,
ridiculous.
"Oh no, they sold you all fake seeds." And that for that to be something that has happened very recently, and for the USDA to be like, y'all don't need no protection, y'all don't need no structural support,
we've made up for
we're
that.
Race neutral, when the company that the class action lawsuit is against were found to have intentionally and maliciously targeted Black farms. And I think when you said 4%, that really stuck out to me, because that article that I went back to look at about that class action lawsuit, and these were farmers, I think, again, in the agricultural South. It was like Louisiana, Tennessee. One of the lead plaintiffs was like, yes, 80 years ago, there were literally 1 million Black farmers. And now there's 5,000. That shook me. This country that was built on our agricultural knowledge. And labor and skill, like actual expertise, right? Because that's also a lie. We weren't just out here following white man's orders and they were telling us how to plant. No. This is knowledge we brought with us over from the Middle Passage. Stolen labor, stolen skills. And now we've been structurally
excised
excluded.
Out of the industry. It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
I think them specifically targeting Black farmers with the known history of our country it feels very specifically.
They want us to have a miserable existence. It is evil. It's the cruelty is the point.
It is
they
the point.
They do not care about meritocracy. They were already getting whatever they needed as
but
farmers.
They want more.
Hell, they voted
need more.
Because even now, like the farmers that basically were on board for Trump getting rid of the immigrants, but not the immigrants that worked on their farms, is like, well, they got to do that. They got to fix that because like we need them. And it's like, well, no, because this is what you voted for. But I bet you but actually they did. They changed course and they did some type of like special thing, but
temporarily. I don't think they're going to do that. Thing. Yeah, I don't think that's going to actually play out for the long term. I think their long game in this is still to like, they don't care that it's going to hurt agriculture. Or girl, they're trying to get some.
I think they're trying to figure out.
They really want us to be hooked up to plows.
How to get us hooked up to plows. They want us out of education. They getting rid of all the federal grants. I mean, they are doing what they can. And I feel like, I'm putting on my hat, but I don't really think it's a tin hat. Just the destruction of crops and like basically the trickery trying to get the land. It is to take the little bit of farmland that we have left and just remove us from the industry. And it's disgusting. It's distasteful. Yeah. And I just will never not have smoke for people who enable this here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. But let us hope that there is some way to resist this for the Black farmers. Go ahead.
Yeah, I read an article where they are basically, gonna go back to cooperative economics and figure out ways to barter, because there were larger Black farms that, because of the size and like what they've been able to yield, they were able to get loans traditionally. Yeah. So some of them might help each other out. If you watched Queen Sugar, it's probably like when they had those issues with the sugarcane farming, the co-op that they created is probably closer to what that is what they'll be doing until they're able to figure it out. I know some people are specifically trying to get language for Black people because the Black farmers are going to suffer the worst, which I'm not saying it's not go ahead, try your best, but I doubt that they will do that because they're evil, but it doesn't hurt.
You know what? They keep trying to bury Black people. They don't know that we are seeds. And not the seeds, not the plastic ones, baby.
Not the plastic ones.
All right, we germinate.
I was about to get back into my bag and start, but I'm not.
Thank you for dropping that information, friend. I think that's really important for us to be aware of and know how we can support and do our part to like. Y'all are not gonna stop this motion because everything about this country that's great is because of Black people. All right,
Black people. Specifically Black Americans. No tea, no shade to all the other diasporas. Y'all done y'all thing too.
Yes, for sure.
We really set the shit in motion. Okay.
Only here because of the rights that were affirmed by the Black Americans who marched, bled, and died.
Okay.
For there to be immigration legally and here. So for y'all to be
talking
here.
About something. Ain't no way they gonna get rid of Roe. No way. The Constitution says. Y'all are learning in real time.
Oh,
not just. Oh, I got the gavel. See, put it down.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
We're gonna transition to let's talk about Black people doing incredible things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you hear about that disturbance on that Delta flight? Okay.
Sorry.
So,
talking about this, I forgot.
Viewers at home. So there's a video that shows the aftermath. There was a Delta flight, I believe from Atlanta going to Arizona, and mid-flight, this white woman she's having some type of episode. She tries to bust down the door of the cockpit. She's running. She's talking about, I got to get off this flight. She tries to open the emergency exit door. The flight attendants cannot contain this woman for whatever reason. So this woman has made it to the front of the plane. The video that you see, and I'm gonna try to slice this in to all you see is this white woman laid the fuck out, prostrate before the Lord, hog-tied.
Like a little pig.
Hog-tied. She is knocked out. I mean, it takes 4 people to pick her up. Like, this bitch is gone. It's almost like, is she dead? When I tell you, you know who did that? A Black woman by the name of Miss Nicki. So there's this, like, I would easily say she's like in her 50s, like a 50-something-year-old Black woman and an Army veteran who was sitting in first class when all of this commotion starts. And what you hear from the storytelling and what I've read since the aftermath is that the flight attendants could not disarm this woman, couldn't get her down. She's giving the flight attendants the business. Not a single man in first class got up to help or do anything. These men sat down, looked to their left, looked to their right, nothing, like, crickets. Disgusting.
Let that bitch take the plane down.
I don't know what the plan is. That's really what I was like, what did y'all think was going to happen if she actually opened that emergency exit door? Did you think the first class cabin was going to be fine and everybody else? What did you think was going to happen?
Y'all gonna go nose down first. Like, what the fuck?
So the woman who is the hero of the story, she's like telling her, she's like, you know, casually took out my ear. She made a point of talking about she took out her AirPod, put it in the back of the plane. Pocket. And I said, I'm about to go beat this bitch ass. She tore this woman up. She gave her a generational whooping. Okay.
She turned her every way but loose.
Okay. So they let this Black woman do the heavy lifting, and all we see is the aftermath. But this real life hero, I just want to, two parts of this story that stuck out to me. One, her training and her being, she was ready to go. She made a point to like, you know what? I'm a veteran. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm built for this. And I value my life. I'm getting home to my family. Your crazy ass. Your ass ain't about to get a reason. Right.
We on the news. My family.
Right. But her talking, she really made a point to be like, none of the men helped. And even in the aftermath, you see her having, the man didn't even get up to let her sit back in her seat. She had to like scooch across the white man. I was so upset and confused as to why these white men thought that was beneath them to somehow not have to scrabble.
No sense of self-preservation. They just think somebody's gonna save the day for them.
And somebody did, and it was a Black woman. So that really troubled me that they made her do that shit by herself. And the second part is Delta.
I am glad that she was able to do that.
I'm so glad yes, I'm very glad that she was able to. She saved the day, because that could have gotten, because the flight attendants couldn't actually handle her, that clearly meant that there was some shit going on. Like, I don't know if the lady was gone off a bean or
probably scary. Because I just feel like, looking at her, now she was on the thicker side, but she didn't look big enough like they could. Like, she couldn't be handled. She wasn't like a rugby player or something. They could have chopped her in the throat. They was being scary and like try to reason with her. But she said out loud that she was going to open the door. I'm
getting off this plane. I don't want to be on this plane.
And all this type of shit.
And Miss Nicki was like, that's a terroristic threat. Oh, no.
That's a terroristic threat.
That is a terroristic threat. I'm going to go be with God. God don't want me to be on this plane. And she was like, well, bitch, you should have got on the plane. Right? So at first, everybody's talking back to her. But when she got physical, Mama Nicki said, oh, no. And I think I think she probably was like, you know, sometimes you have so much built up like frustration and like you be waiting for a fight. Like, I know some of us are like, okay, I'm at the point where I'm really ready.
If
the opportunity presents itself, I'm ready to beat a bitch ass, right?
Yes.
So I'm glad that it turned out the way it did.
I wanted to see her face.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so if you're on a plane and somebody's making terroristic threats, you're jumping in.
Oh,
wait, gender neutral, man, woman, child.
I will be on your back. Fuck you talking about? No.
So you're not gonna be screaming like Charlotte Pickles. You're about that action. You are like, I
probably will scream at the same time because that's just my nature. But I be TTG when shit happen. I'm a drama queen. But when it's time to execute, I would have beat. Oh God,
that is so funny.
Like
so you would
superhuman. Oh
yeah.
All of my. I ain't boxed in a while. Yeah. I would have laid her ass.
You'd have been ready. She got it, lady. I tell you, it must have been cathartic for her. Let's be real,
because she have been, and I know she was proud. She probably wrapped up, and her legs was in the zip ties too. She was like. It's been a while since I did this.
She folded like laundry. Into a pretzel.
Okay. Oh, I was like,
I was screaming. Just the aftermath video is crazy. So I wonder what the actual ass whooping looked like.
Damn, I did pretty good. But do say something somewhere.
So Delta, if you are hearing this, y'all need to create a new level of status for the doll.
Hello?
I don't care about platinum, diamond. She needs the fucking vibranium status. This is like,
hello?
You have that's the strength of the Black Panther. I need her to have her own medallion. Unless you literally are a hero and you beat somebody ass on the plane, like you don't get to be in this status with Miss Nicki. No, she don't need to pay for no flights for the rest of her life. She don't need to even have to go through regular security. I need y'all to create something new, because this is the type of hero worship that we can get behind. Should have,
right?
That's the hero worship. She risked her life and limb.
Hello?
And with no help. While you bitches sat down and watched her fold it with your arms when your little Sudoku. I was so beside myself looking at them white men.
Lucky she ain't slapped the shit out of him. That man that wouldn't move to let her on there. Ooh, I need to tell she was able to regulate, because I probably would have muffed him. I ain't gonna lie.
Shame.
Yeah. I don't even
get your ass out the way.
Get your ass out the way.
Because at that point, you're a hero on the they not gonna do nothing to you on the plane at this point, Nicki. You are literally above reproach. So.
Exactly. I would have been smacking everybody. But I truly believe that
Bernie Mac in head of state. Oh my God.
Yes. That's just
yeah. Okay.
I would gladly join vibranium status. It would actually bring me joy.
If given the opportunity. Yeah. Would you want no air marshals on that bitch? Hell yeah. Because I'm going home. Yeah. I'm not going.
There are people who
my kids ain't gonna be motherless because your ass.
Right. It ain't even like she was doing something like, oh my gosh, it happened so fast. She over here talking. Hey, I got enough time to hear what you're saying. Oh, baby.
We thumping. Go ahead and sit
down. Go ahead and sit down, sweetheart. Because you're not doing whatever you thought you was doing today. No.
You said I'm going to be like a damn feral monkey on your back, okay?
A spider monkey. I'm climbing once in this motherfucker. Do not. You better keep it cute.
Yeah.
I hate when people cough a little bit too much. Standing
on
around.
the plane. Yeah, everybody have a seat.
Actually,
let's be
low
calm.
Key, a low key air marshal on the plane anyway, because I don't be playing them reindeer games. We already in a tin can in the sky. And you playing in the
No. Oh God. Okay, that was really great. I was just curious how you would react if you feel like how your fight or flight would have been set up on a plane.
No.
Especially if y'all are anxious flyers. The planes are getting even more unsecured, unstable. There's shit going on in all different areas right now. So people acting a fool on the plane, this is not the time to be doing that. You will get beat up. Okay? Word to Miss Nicki. We speak your name, ma'am. We love that. Of money. So what happened? NFL legend turned analyst Shannon Sharpe quietly settled a $50 million sexual assault lawsuit filed by a Jane Doe and Tony Busby, who probably I thought at this point would be disbarred for all of the shenanigans he's been pulling recently. But the case was dismissed with prejudice. And not even a day after the settlement went public, this teenager who was the plaintiff retired from OnlyFans. This mouth-breathing, thick-tongued degenerate had the money to retire this white woman. She's a teenager. She's of age. She was like 19 or 20 at the time, which is gross because this man is squarely in his 50s and it's disgusting. But thinking about Black wealth, as we're talking, like, which has been the theme of this segment, being squandered and retiring OnlyFans, girls, your money being not for your descendants, your Black children, your Black grandchildren.
You told her you better make it happen in $30,000.
You took the talking point out of my mouth. The same man who told his daughter that she needed to have a fucking fish fry for her reception.
That was triggering to
you
me.
Need to make $30,000 work. I ain't paying for no reception more than that. But you got millions.
You retired.
You have retired.
Girl,
this 19-year-old is retired.
To call you a goddamn monkey.
We talking about nasty race play, like
disgusting,
disgusting.
And me, you goddamn greasy ape. What type of shit? Oh God, I'm yucking your yum. You nasty.
You need
nigga.
to be this. You need to be so ashamed. And people say shame is not motivating. I disagree. If these niggas start having to get ostracized enough, you ain't in community with us with all that degenerate, nasty.
It was. I was just playing.
That was
I said.
Neanderthal was so disturbed. Just the thought, and it's your money. It don't belong to the Black community.
Would you please?
But you should be disgusted and feel like the degenerate that you are, because that is degeneracy at its finest. So,
yeah.
I'm disturbed. That was gross, especially for his kids. I feel like I would never talk to my daddy again if he was on some nut shit like that. That's disgusting.
I would just be like, cha-ching.
Every time
Give
you
me
talk
my
to him,
motherfucking money.
Yeah, there would have to be a fee. That's a good point. You got money for Judy ass, Jane Doe ass. Run it.
Go ahead, run them fees, my man. I'm gonna start telling him all the stuff you used to do to us when we was young. I'd be on.
He don't have no shame. It's disgusting.
He don't have no shame.
It's disgusting.
But now he's really gonna. I mean, just an idiot, just disgusting. And if y'all, I am making up what was said, but I'm dead serious. It was on that level of just degeneracy and like, how is that attractive? We're gonna talk about this next season. I know that there's layers
for real. It was
there's layers to what people are into sexually, but you need to find some pride, sir.
Race play, I'm yucking your yum every time because you have some fucking self-hate that you need to examine, and don't put black people in it. Because don't bring us into it. Don't collectively bring us into it.
It's just too much.
You big lip jigaboo. That's how you want somebody to talk to you?
No, like
jump scare. You're scared.
Turn you on
because you hate yourself. It's disturbing. Leave us out of it. Your low sense of racial pride ain't got. Take me out the chat, and by me, I mean all black people. Okay, but
you're very embarrassing. If we had a race draft, you would get you and RG3
first round
out of here.
Yes, a fool and his money soon shall part, and you know, run it up, little girl. She played the game, and now she retired at the smooth age of 19.
Stay tuned. I've got some things in store. Baby girls, she probably gonna have her little TV show. Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm over it. So that was the segment. We had a lot to get through, and we still like, you know, this happened today. Rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah,
that felt personal. Sad. So sad. He is black royalty in every sense of Black Americans have in culture and his impact and his just profound deep love for Black people and Black art. Yeah, that was rough. Happened.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. I didn't like how I found out either. I was, especially being online habitually, chronically, is you just get inundated with things when you're not in the headspace too. And learning about his passing this afternoon, it really did trouble me. And prayers to his wife and his children and his family to die in such a tragic way.
Right. It's awful.
So abruptly. It's awful. You know, and you've talked about that on the show.
Yes, like water, oceans, rivers, different animal.
Yeah, you can be a strong swimmer. And I think the conversation we don't even know the circumstances of his drowning at this point, but he apparently was like a strong swimmer. So it wasn't something that was like, oh, why was your ass in water? Which is also why are we rushing to even make that type of judgment anyway? But yeah, ocean current don't care how fucking strong of a swimmer you are. The aliens is literally under the water.
Exactly, which is
the ocean is a terrifying place, and things can change very quickly. You can be the strongest swimmer, and it does not matter.
No.
If it's just the wrong circumstances and the wrong conditions, and that man tragically lost his life and what should have been his prime. I think he's like newly married, a new dad,
new father. Like I think his daughter's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that is.
He was so excited because he never thought he wanted kids, and then he had a daughter, and he was just so proud and like super excited to be a dad. So, I mean, that sucks really bad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Well, rest in peace, Theo.
Lord, we didn't say. We said Bill, not Malcolm. Right. Lord, what is other person? You know, it goes without saying who needs to be on the short list of. Get that nigga out of here.
I got a long list, but we don't have enough time for that today. It is now time for my favorite segment, a way for us to decompress. It's the I Love Men. As your resident fine nigga anthropologist, I am here with my trusty dusty list. It's imaginary because my phone's locked right now. I've collected all types of specimens of all ages, persuasions, you know, just for fun, because I realize now, you know, which we're going to talk about actually in the main stage, but you can kind of get like hyperfixations with things depending on, you know, having ADHD.
Your diagnosis.
And although I would hate to admit that mine might possibly be looking and categorizing fine men, but I just like organizing things. I think I like making lists. I think that's what my hyperfixation is. Not so much to men, but that's neither here nor there. So I will pick a man of the day, and then I give it to Leezy to rate 1 through 10. Pick for today,
of course,
is the one and only Omar Epps. It's his birthday, so be nice.
You know what? Much respect.
Go look at the pictures I sent. This is pictures of him today, right now.
And this is it being his wife's IG is exactly where I was about to go with this. I go up for I do too. We first of all for maybe the babies at home. Keisha is part of a legendary, iconic girl group extraordinaire from the 90s,
and Pam.
Toto. They are such a beautiful couple. No, I'm like, Omar Epps has definitely, in respect to his acting chops, much respect to Omar Epps. I feel like my introduction to Omar was probably Higher Learning. Was that the first time you saw Omar Epps as a shorty? Maybe Higher Learning? Before Higher Learning?
What came first? Was it Juice or Higher Learning?
Juice definitely was, but your little badass was watching Juice as a shorty.
I had an inappropriate babysitter. Okay, I watched a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to be watching.
I'm about to say Juice might have been something I watched as like a teenager, but not like when it actually came out.
Now, granted, I watched a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Juice was 1992.
Yes, I absolutely watched that then.
My intro to him was as Malik in Higher Learning. Or was he Quincy? Wasn't he? No, he was Quincy.
He was in Love and Basketball. He was Quincy in Love and Basketball too.
Thank you, Love and Basketball. Duh, yeah. That's really what brought the doll to superstardom.
Yeah, but I didn't really like him in there because Quincy got my nerves.
Yeah, well, because he was the villain of the story.
Hello? Let's wake it up. Wake it up.
The villain won. Okay,
he really did. He got to be a what is it?
A stay-at-home dad. Hell,
husband husband and boyfriend of a WNBA player.
Yeah,
at the end,
but. Okay, I'm giving Omar Epps. Okay, I will say this. He's never been like my type, but he has gotten more attractive as he's gotten older too. Yeah. I will say. I think I just like a season. That's why I tell my husband, man, when that salt and pepper kick in, they're gonna have to keep me up off you, bruh. These pictures you sent of him turning, he's probably 51 or 52 at this point. Mm-hmm. Very handsome Brooklyn King. I'm gonna give him, I'm sorry, friend. I'm still gonna give him like a 6.
Oh, hell no. Nah. My God. Y'all, she wildin'.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep her lifted. You got your glasses on.
I don't, but I'm not going to mess with Keisha's husband. Keisha don't play about her.
I ain't mess with Keisha's husband either. We just talking about what he looked like.
We're objectifying.
He
no, you know what?
We're not objectifying him. I didn't even say what I liked about him because I did provide his wife's pictures. I just said
so funny.
He's a beautiful
man.
They look
so beautiful together. Yeah, they're a beautiful couple.
He's a good husband. From what we can see.
Yeah, and a good dad. Yeah. I've enjoyed
his author. He's been directing. He's just
multifaceted. Love that.
Yeah,
great man.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
Speaking strictly on the objectification of women's rights and women's wrongs, he's getting a 6 for me. Damn. Next case.
Women's rights, and unfortunately, Elisa is wrong today.
Elisa's wrong, whatever.
I hate to say it, but it's all right.
I love that we have different taste in men. And on that note, we are going to transition to the main stage for a wonderful conversation we had. Please join us.
Yes. And I'm very sensitive. This was a very eye-opening discussion. I poured it from my heart.
Yeah. Yes. You were very vulnerable. I'm proud of you.
Very vulnerable. Thank you, friend. But I'm saying all that to say, keep it cute.
Keep it cute. Thank you. Keep it cute. All right.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all on the flip side. All right, welcome to the main stage. We are so excited. We have a very special guest here with us today, Dr. Priyanka Rao. I'm going to read her in formally, and then we're going to jump her in as we do all of our guests with our icebreaker. But Dr. Priyanka Rao is known to many as Pri, a licensed psychologist, ADHD coach, and founder of both Asha Mental Health and Asha Coaching and Consulting. Through her therapy practice, she specializes in adult ADHD and autism assessments, providing neurodiversity affirming evaluations that help clients better understand their brains and reclaim their stories, as well as as multicultural, inclusive mental health care. In her coaching work, Pri supports late diagnosis ADHD professionals and entrepreneurs in navigating overwhelm, burnout, and the mental load of modern life. A late diagnosed ADHD herself, she brings both clinical expertise and lived experience to everything she does. Ladies and gentlemen, bring it up. Big up, big up, big up for Dr. Pri. Welcome. And a budding social media star, might we add. Okay, she is popping.
Yeah, that's been quite the ride this year.
Girl, I'm about to say, because you turned all the way up very quickly. And it's all organic. We don't buy followers over here.
Not 1 cent on marketing yet, so that's pretty cool.
Yes. So she is a friend to the show. We are very excited to have Pri here. How you doing today, Dr. Pri?
I am good. I am a little frazzled, but that's like story of ADHD life. So, you know, that's just kind of my way of being.
Well, girl, we gonna get to those questions because low key, I'm like, is that also my problem? Is that my portion? Do we not know? But before we jump into the interview, because we have a lot of burning questions, and I can't wait to have this really great conversation, really. But we always have a little break the ice, not the bridge segment. So, Lauren, it's your turn this week. What we got?
All right. So actually, guys, you know, for our new, because I'm naming and claiming that we'll have new people here. But for this segment, if you're new, we basically, like Lisa said, we jump everybody in, make sure everyone's comfortable by asking a random icebreaker. It can be, in relation to the topic of the day. Most of the time, if I'm asking, it will not be. So, without further ado, if you were to add yourself to Inside Out 3, what feeling would you be and how would you present? It cannot be a feeling already in the cast.
Oh, that's such a good one. Y'all gotta go. Okay. Who's going first? Dr. Pri, should we let our guests go first?
Sure. Okay. So depending on the day, when you catch me, I have a slightly different answer because I am the queen of indecision and will
+1,
which probably should be my emotion.
But is that the answer?
That's not the answer. I was going to go with overwhelm because I think between the adult ADHD, the entrepreneur life, and the mom life, there's a lot of overwhelm. And I've been my journey has been figuring out how to listen to that and use that as a cue for what I need and what's up with me and all of that. But the reason I'm laughing is because I really wanted to be I am hope or curiosity or something really positive that I came up with.
Don't worry, you're not alone
with overwhelm. Yeah. But I think if I'm on a good day, I'm definitely probably ambitious.
Period.
I think that is another good one where I have had a lot of fun leaning into the fact that I am a driven, ambitious human, and I'm proud of that. So that's on the good day. Today is a positive day.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you contain the multitudes, as we all do.
Can be true.
Y'all got me looking up an emotions wheel. I'm like, bitch, what emotion am I? Y'all got the word. Okay, go ahead.
I got mine, friend. But I do, before we jump to mine, Dr. Pri, do you have
you can just call
any
me Pri.
idea? Okay, Pri. I like to respect your honorific, girl.
I appreciate that.
You earned that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Pri girl. Do you know how yours look? How your overwhelm and
ambition?
And don't worry, ambition, because I can do mine, and then we can come back to you so you can tell us what they look like or not. It's up to you.
Yeah, do yours. Come back to me. I'm gonna
because I can better imagine what overwhelm looks like, but I want to hear it in your words.
I can picture it.
Right. So, I have 3 because, like Pri, I'm very indecisive, and it all depends on the day. Well, really the hour. God damn it, the minute. But nevertheless, my first one, the best one, would be Euphoria.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be donned in Lisa Ray white with a pearl sheen on my skin with a big purse, and it's got a label on it called The Good Stuff.
Oh my goodness.
The Good Stuff? All of my favorite things, which I won't list. But
that is so funny.
Debauchery and fun. Good, clean fun. Books, all that good stuff. My second one, which this one would be difficult. I would be vulnerable. I'd be like a little troll with an afro, similar to this. This was not planned. But the afro would be like this, and I would just be wearing a leaf bikini as an ode to Eve. And then,
wait, what's the feeling? It's just vulnerable?
Vulnerable, yes.
Okay.
You said Eve, and I didn't think
you was thinking Eve
biblical
the
Eve. I thought Eve the rapper, and that says more about me than you, Fran. But go ahead. Go off.
I didn't have the paw prints on the chest.
Vulnerable is a good one.
I didn't want to be a naked vulnerable, but that's about as close. The leaf bikini, you know. And then my last one, which is more akin to who I am often, loathsome. I'd be like a hybrid girl sister from the Proud Family with Pusha T plaits and like this sweatshirt like Kendrick Lamar, like a GNX outfit that he wore.
Oh my goodness.
Those would be mine.
Not only, I think that you take these icebreakers as your personal opportunity to just really have this most creative response. And I love that for you because you just gave us like a screenplay.
Seriously.
I love that. Okay. All right. Well, do you want to go back to Pri for how her overwhelmed person is presenting?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm not as good at that with like the creative visual with you as you are, but like okay, so Overwhelm's got like the messy bun and like circles under her eyes, and she's wearing I don't know like a baggy like sweatshirt or something that's got for sure like either somebody's food or like somebody spit up or something on like one of the mom moves. And she's probably got like her arms or her bag like overflowing with like the planners and the books and the Post-its. And there's probably a Post-it stuck to like to the bottom of her shoe. And she's just like, whoa, there's a lot going on here. So just kind of like perpetual look of like, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on.
Just frazzled.
Just real frazzled for sure. And then ambitious. Like she's got like boss bitch energy. She's got her red bottoms on.
Come on.
She's got like
the girl is bad.
Like a pantsuit, but like an Olivia Pope kind of style one, like a real like chic, stylish, but totally in charge kind of vibe. She's got like a power lip. Like that's kind of what I'm picturing for that one.
I see the vision. Okay.
Oh my goodness, y'all are amazing.
All right, now you stalled enough.
I did. And I'm looking at my wheel of emotions because there's, and I'm going to say mine is we are going to introduce pressure to the cast. I am pressured right now, and not the way the young kids say it, where it means, you're serving. Oh, she pressured.
Both child.
We're both.
You pressure.
I'm both pressure, but yeah, we are very much we're squarely in our overwhelmed phase of life right now in adulting and motherhood. And I think my character would have to be a little bit, it's like, I think of pressure embodied as like anxiety. And I know anxiety is already taken because she's already there. And she was a misunderstood person.
She really was. I felt her.
I connected to anxiety so much in Inside Out too. We had a whole episode about this. But yeah, I think I would be pressure. And she would probably look real uncomfortable, probably a little bit just persistently rushed. I just imagine her always kind of like pacing, like feeling like time is not on her side.
I pictured like a bunch of watches. Like,
girl, that's a good one. That's a good one because it's not on her side.
But because she's both pressures.
Well, she's like fine as hell
or something. Yeah, something about it got to be bodacious.
That's hilarious.
Long legs, something like that.
I love that. But
maybe like on the front, the I won't say bad pressure, but the overwhelmed type of pressure in the back.
And in the back, it's like pressure.
And you like look over your shoulder, like, you see me?
She's got to be like a little hunched too, because like there's like the weight on her shoulders.
The weight is over. Yes, girl.
So then you could probably drop down to a twerk when you're on the backside, like you already bent over.
Yeah, you gotta just lean it.
And twerking is a way to actually self-soothe. So
it really is. And my God, it helps. Let me tell you.
Come on,
my 12:30 dance breaks
at work. I love that. Well, you know what? This is perfect. We are already deep in our feelings. We are connected. We are on the same page, sisters. We're just gonna dive right into the natural conversation because we've already introduced Pri. She is very much qualified and has the credentials and the bona fides and the lived experience. We really want to start off this segment by having you tell us a little bit more about your ADHD journey. When did you start to notice that the systems around you weren't really designed for your brain?
It's really funny because you would think as a licensed therapist, psychologist, having done grad school, having gotten my doctorate in clinical psych, that I would have noticed this ages ago or would have like identified it. And I did not have this language for it, didn't get diagnosed until after my first kid was born. So I had graduated, I'd gotten married, I was in like a leadership position for work, I had a kid, and that's finally where like everything cracked enough that it was time to like do something different.
Oh.
And then when I learned more about what ADHD actually looks like, especially what it actually looks like in women and in BIPOC folks, like that was when all the light bulbs started going off around like how it's been there my whole life. And I think that is like kind of why I got into the world that I'm in now with the coaching and all, because if I, with my credentials and my education, didn't know this shit, nobody knows this stuff.
You're like,
or not enough people do.
Sorry for the rest of y'all.
But like really, like if I was that shocked, if I was learning that much, like of course the average person doesn't recognize it or has all these misconceptions, because the stereotype, as with most medical things, is like the young white boy and his experience of it, and like the kid bouncing out of his chair, and like that was never me at all.
Right. You embodied it in a very different way.
Totally different way, which is often what happens for women. That's just often what happens for minorities. And so, so I did not learn until I was like in my 30s, had a kid, and I just felt like my brain was on fire all the time. I was so overwhelmed, hence the emotion. And like, it just felt like there was always 97 things going in my brain at any given time.
All the tabs were open.
All the tabs were always open. Something was playing music. I don't fucking know what. I don't even know what window it was on. Like that was just all the time. So like all the time I felt like I was dropping the ball on things or not tracking on things, but also tracking on too many things. And it just got to the point where like I felt, like my brain was imploding. And so that's when my therapist was like, girl, you know you have ADHD, right? You need to go get tested.
And you were like, do I?
Yeah, I mean, I like kind of played with the idea for a little while, but I was like, well, I've been okay. I just need to like try a little harder. I just need some better systems. Like that narrative of like, if it's true, it's not that big of a deal. And then when I finally like added the one more thing on top that just my systems couldn't compensate for it anymore, that's when like it became so clear.
Your brain said, that'll do it. That will do it.
And that's common. Like so many women get diagnosed either when they have kids, when they have a massive career jump, or when they hit menopause, perimenopause and menopause, because the hormones.
Oh, that's super late. God damn.
So like it's because that's like the point at which like all the coping and systems that you developed thus far to make it, like they just don't work anymore, because that's like such a big jump.
Those big transitions, And then we didn't get into like the hormonal piece, especially with like perimenopause. Golly. Okay. Well, thank you, friend, for bringing it, for inching us into the pool that we're about to, swim a little deeper in today.
Yeah.
We about to dig a little deeper. What's that come from?
That's Princess and the Frog. Yes.
Yeah. I got it.
I'm like, but where'd that come from? But okay. My question is, what are some common mistakes people make when they try to fix ADHD instead of understanding it? Speaking for myself here.
Great question. One, and this isn't quite exactly what you're asking, but I think it's probably the most common thing, is what I was saying before around the, like, I just need to try harder. I just haven't found the right system. I just haven't insert whatever here. I'm just lazy. Like that whole narrative around, it's kind of almost like that imposter syndrome of like, do I actually fit this criteria? Like, am I actually struggling in this way? Am I allowed to own that? Or am I just like not trying hard enough? So like, that's one of those mistakes where people like keep powering through the way they think they're supposed to do something, because that's the way they've always been taught, like the way neurotypicals do things. And like, if beating yourself up and powering through was going to work, it would have worked by now. So that is like one of the big mistakes that I see. Another one is medication is amazing. Like usually tell people to like consider it and try it out. There's so much research behind how great it is. And pills don't teach skills. So if you're only doing meds but making no other changes for yourself, like you're not going to get very far. And real. I see that all the time. Like everybody thinks, if I take the pill, I'm now neurotypical. I don't need to do anything else. And I'm like, no, friend, like you're definitely still neurodivergent. You still need to shift your system, shift your life, shift your expectations to work for you. So it's very much that like square peg round hole of like trying to do things the way that you think you're supposed to and just like banging your head into the wall with that. Or it's the like opposite, I've already taken care of it this way, so I don't really need to look at it anymore. Like those are kind of the two big versions of that I feel like I see.
Okay, all right. You speaking my language. You're speaking to me.
Are you an ADHD? Like, are you diagnosed ADHD, or is it just like a hypothesis?
We're not there yet. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
All right. My bad.
No, you're fine. You know, we trying to have a flow to it. But honestly, girl, I'm bubbling to tell you what happened because I know you're going to understand me. Okay. Go ahead, Lisa. It's your turn. Oh, no, it's mine. Okay. In your coaching, what surprises people most when they first realize, like, oh, wait, this is ADHD and I'm not a failure.
I think what surprises everybody the most is that they're not alone. Every single person I talk to thinks it's just them or thinks that they're a bigger hot mess than everybody else. And so there's all this like shame that's tied up in there and all this embarrassment. And that's why I love doing like group platforms for ADHD, because every person that signed up to my last round of group coaching mentioned like, I don't know if I should be there. Like my life is too much of a mess. I'm too like disastrous. Everything's on fire. And so the first like session that we had, I was like, all right, everybody like spill your shit. Like where you at? And every person had the same story. Every person thought they were the only one that was in that like big mess of a place.
And then a handful of people are probably like, oh, goddamn, they life is really toe up. I thought I was bad.
I mean, it looks a little different for everybody, but like the vast majority were like so relieved.
Yes, that has to be freeing.
It wasn't just them, and that there was like a very good reason for why things were hard for them.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't something wrong with them. So like I know this is cheesy as fuck, but like every meeting that I have with these folks, I would say, you're not broken. Like I want you to hear it every single time. You are not.
I know that's right.
Broken. Your brain operates differently.
Yeah, come on, Minister Pre. I know that's right.
Take a lap. You are not broken. Your
you
brain
are not.
is not
I will
broken.
say it until you roll your eyes at me, and I will say it every fucking week until you believe it. But you're just not. Like the world is built around a set of norms and a way of a brain working that's different from yours. So that's disabling. That is hard. That weighs on you, but that doesn't mean you're broken. There's not a less than here. So,
yeah. It changed the way you talk about yourself. Well, you. How do I talk about myself?
It totally changed the way I talk about myself. Like the amount of like, I'm still like an insecure human because I think like, I don't know, a lot of us are, but I can hold like a level of confidence in my capabilities. Like my imposter syndrome went down drastically, and like I can show up vulnerably and talk to 100,000 people on Instagram about all the ways that I'm bad at stuff, because like it's no longer tied to like me being a bad person or me being broken or me having something wrong with me. I have like a really
the power out of that shame, and it takes the power out of that, and that connection is what makes us all better. Like that was our first season. Please go back, revisit. It was all about connections and how there's so much power in that. You talked about this earlier, and I want to zoom into what something you said about women specifically. There is a surge of adult women getting diagnosed much later in life, especially Black women. And I want to talk about why is that, and what's your advice for someone who's newly curious about whether they might have ADHD?
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons. One, we've done a lot more research. We've done a lot more learning. Like our understanding of ADHD and other neurodivergence, like autism and all that, has exploded even since I was in grad school. So like in the last 10 years, you've seen such a giant shift in our understanding of how all of that shows up.
Right.
Two, I think social media has played a positive role in this regard, where like all these people are talking about their experiences. And so they get to say like, oh, I hear myself in that, which is the message I get all the time of like, oh, I had no idea that was like an everybody thing. And now here you are putting words to this thing that I've always like held in all the shame. And so now we're shining a light on this stuff, and people are talking about their lived experiences. And so it's challenging all those kind of stereotypes of, like I said, the little white boy bouncing out of his chair. Yeah. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying that used to be, that was centered. That that stereotype or that trope was what we kind of identified. That's the face of what ADHD looks like, but that's not what it might look like embodied in a 30-plus-year-old.
One flavor of ADHD. And so as we have more exposure to like the different ways that it shows up, we have more people that are talking about what's going on for them. People are starting to see themselves in that. And then you add in like the cultural pieces, right? Like there's all this stigma around mental health. There's stigma around like sharing where you're struggling and what you need help with. There's like a tough it out and like deal with what you've got and make it work. And all of that gets in the way of seeking support for something, especially if you've already got the story that like it's a you problem. And so if you've been like missed through life because people didn't know what it looked like for you, if you are then internalizing this like message that like you need to solve your own problems, we don't talk about our shit, and then like you're not even gonna think for yourself, let alone like enough to share with another provider that like you're struggling in a way that is like truly legitimate and truly worth getting support around. So I think all of that like plays together, and like that better understanding of what ADHD looks like helps us have more nuance in how we talk about how it shows up. Like for example, girls tend to be more inattentive versus hyperactive. So the girls are like the daydreamers, the ones that are spaced out and in their own world and super imaginative and creative.
Oh, we're internalizing as opposed to externalizing the behavior.
Yes. Or me here, we look anxious because that hyperactivity is internal, it's in our head. And so we feel overwhelmed or we feel anxious. And providers historically hear what we're saying and they go, oh, you've got generalized anxiety. And so like as people
jump scare.
And I remember
we'll tell you why in a little bit, but you are literally you are reading the tea leaves, friend.
I'm sure, because the number of people that I assess in my therapy practice that are on assessment number 2 or even 3 because of stupid shit that providers that are misinformed have said is like so depressing and angry.
I'm gonna start crying. Hold on.
It's okay, friend. Okay. It's okay.
All right. I'm back.
So many of us, I mean, like I have had providers be like, well, you've got a doctorate, like you can't have ADHD. Or like, well, you don't seem hyper, your life's together. I've had people be like, you have a career, therefore, I had like somebody will come to me and be like, my provider at my assessment said that because I'm married and I have a job, I can't possibly have ADHD. Like the misinformation, even in the mental health field, is astounding.
You're gonna make my eyes twitching. What do you mean? You're are disqualified because you are married and have a job?
Yes, because the stereotype is if you have ADHD, you're a failure at life. Like you can't function. And that's bullshit. Like there's so many of us that are super high achieving, that have done a shitload and that are really ambitious. And like the question is at what cost? How do we put ourselves out? What does that actually look like on the back end?
What's the crippling anxiety to try to force yourself to make shit work? Yeah.
Or like another way that I think a lot of people get missed. Sorry, I've like segued off.
This is perfect.
You are blessing us.
We're all about vibes
Everybody.
here.
Yeah.
Like another thing that I hear a lot in assessment is like a provider, especially one that's less well versed in how this looks, particularly again in girls or in like minority communities where you are, for like safety reasons, you're socialized to like not make a scene, to not take up space, to be agreeable. And so like everything gets masked really young and really early culturally, both like in school, but even at home, because again, like generational like expectations and respect and all those like values that show up. And so there's so many layers of masking. And so many providers that are less versed in that will say like, well, did you struggle with any of this in childhood? And most people will start with, well, no, this is an adult thing. This started when I had my kid. This started when I started this job. This started in college, which is like another one of those big diagnosis times. And that's because they don't know how to answer the question because they don't know what it looks like when they were little. So a good assessor is going to ask you, like, did you space out in class? Were you the person who did homework and forgot to hand it in? Did you always lose your stuff? Was that a running joke? Was your room a disaster? Did your parents have to ask you 9 times to do chores and get annoyed with you? Those questions, a lot more people answer than if you just straight up ask them, like, did you have ADHD when you were younger? Because I would have said no. And then, like, you look at my report cards and it's like, Pre's a delight to have. She won't stop talking and she's distracting everybody in the classroom. Hello, hyperactivity. But because it's like social and I was a girl, that was just like, oh, she's gregarious versus like, she has no impulse control. So like, you want to be working with somebody who actually knows what this looks like so that they can ask you the right questions.
Culturally competent providers. That sounds like,
but like for real,
a necessity for sure. Oh, that's like the perfect pivot.
Necessity. It really is. So, I mean, it really is the perfect pivot. You know, we had talked about like it's a very interesting paradox that we've observed, and I will speak about myself, right? Sure. That, you know, the challenge with like patient advocacy and misdiagnosis. So without getting too long, I switched. Like I always switch, you know, when I start putting the pieces together, I'm like, damn girl, this makes sense. But I always felt like, oh, I cannot get up and talk to people about the law. I would like, my brain would be processing like, does this sound right? You know I know this concept. I know I understand it, but like, am I explaining it properly? So I just knew that I was going to be transactional law. Like, let me just write it out because I have an opportunity to write it and then edit it. And then I'll know, you know, that I'm adequately expressing myself. So I did that for a while. Then I switched to litigation, which is, you know, all talking, court, all that stuff.
Performance art, theater.
Performance art, which I am a thespian, but I prefer of the creative only. Like not this type of stuff.
Not serious shit.
Yeah, because then it makes me nervous because it's like I can put on a show, but I don't want to be sounding stupid. You know what I mean? Like I can take your ass for a loop, but if I'm out here like objection, it's like, ma'am, we are in a case status. Like you don't have to do that. I don't like look like a fool. I would probably melt into the floor. I went into a practice area that has a high volume work, and so the new strategy or new skills that I'm learning just off GP, and then having to balance all of these cases. The way that I explained it to my therapist was like, I just feel like my brain broke and I cannot, like, whatever I don't know. I used to be able to pull all-nighters and get stuff done. I could cut it close and barely make it and do something massive in like 3 days. And like now it takes me 3 months and I don't know how to explain it to my boss. Like, I know that this is due. I did write it down, but I must have dismissed, like, I just legitimately could not, nothing was working. And then in my personal life, everything looked like nothing was working. Like everything was just going to shit. And so I was like, okay, I got to keep this good job. Now I got to keep this money coming in. I can't mess it up. So I have to do something. So I talked to my therapist and she was like, oh, you know, why don't you, to me, it seems like you have ADHD, but you know, so got to go through that whole process. I go through the process. I meet my psychiatrist and she's like, oh, you know, based on what you're telling me, I think you have ADHD. Surprisingly, or maybe not to you, I see a lot of litigation attorneys that come here with ADHD. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm getting closer to some help. Now I was on a wait list for like months and they were like, hey, we can get you in like today, but it'll have to be with like a what is it? Like a student teacher or like somebody
like an intern,
a student. Right. So I'm like, hey, okay, whatever. I respect that. You know, I was a student once when I was, you know, in law school. So I did things. So I meet with her. I'm telling her about my life and I'm like breaking down. Like at this point, I've done extensive research, like all the stuff that I just thought were like weird quirks or like my family's like, well, that's a Lauren story. Or everybody can acknowledge like these very peculiar things that I do. That I just thought was like, I'm just a cool bitch. But like, no, actually, bitch, you're neurodivergent.
You're both. You're both.
You know, right. I mean,
yeah, both hands.
You know, it worked out for me. But yeah, I just thought that this was like how everybody was, and maybe I was just a little cooler because I was okay, at least with my family showing who I really am. But anywho, went through the whole process. They start asking me about childhood, and I'm like, yeah, my room was always a mess. Like as a child, when my parents would ask me why my room was always a mess, I would call it organized chaos, because if they asked me for something,
knew where everything was.
Like, how could you find anything? I know exactly where that CD is, and I go dig up a pile of shit and be like, here. So I was doing this because I was like, I don't want nobody come up in my house, so I had to do something to protect myself because you're losing it. Anywho, I get through it. I'm telling her like I had anxiety as a child, but I do always remember being a mess. And like I used to say, I turned my brain off. Like I remember very specific topics in grammar school where I just was like, no, I'm not going to learn that. Decimals? No. Prepositions? Don't care. And I would just daydream but I got decent grades, and then some of the in math or some like social studies I thought was boring. It was okay. She's an excellent student. She has reading comprehension at a 12th grade level. She's just not good at math. She just, she doesn't like to write, long essays. And that was just kind of how we accepted it. As long as I excelled in everything else, it was okay that I was bad at that. And I was fine with that. But anywho, so long story short, or it was kind of long.
I'm about to say, is it short?
Yeah. Anywho, this hoe ended up telling me, girl, no, you got generalized anxiety.
Stop, you were like textbook.
With ADHD symptoms. I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, because you said your anxiety started before your ADHD. I was like, I don't remember. I've always
Who the fuck remembers which feeling came first in elementary school? Get out of here.
And I'm like, girl, I've lived through a lot of trauma. Some of this is repression. Some of this is ADHD. But yeah, so then I went back to my psychiatrist. We get on meds. The anxiety melts away, but a bitch is still struggling. So I'm like, hey, I thought she said it was anxiety. So she ups it, and we planned around different things. And she's like, you know what? I still think you have ADHD. Maybe you need to go get tested somewhere else. So that's what I'm on the wait list. It's another 6-month waiting list. But the unfortunate part is that I still have life going on. I still have performance reviews, and I'm sitting up here trying to tell my boss, like, well, things happen, and it's just really been a struggle because, it's like, what can you do? And what she told me was like, well, you were just so motivated, and like you came in here today, you wanted to get this testing, and little did she know, I didn't sleep because I was up doing work I went to bed at 4 a.m. and I had to be at that test at 8. And so I was like willing myself to get through it. And it was damn near a whole day. Oof. And I was like, yeah, I wanted some fucking drugs, girl. Yeah, I'm motivated. Like, what do you mean? And so she was like, yeah, if you had ADHD, you would have just quit. So no, I wanted to make sure that
is not.
And I could have flipped the table, but I was in DC and we were virtual. But I just was like, you know what? You fucking know what? I'm about to go find a street pharmacist. But
what? So here's part of the story that drives me. There's so many parts of the story that drives me bonkers. But like, why your psychiatrist didn't just diagnose you? They're fully capable of diagnosing you. If she thought that you had it, she could have just prescribed for you. They put in all these like loopholes for no fucking reason.
Yeah, which I found out after the fact, which is why I'm getting the psychiatrist.
Okay.
This is part of the patient advocacy that I'm very grateful that it's like we are able to share that on this platform. Is that when Lauren told me the story, the paradox that fucked me up the most was you advocating for yourself as a Black woman patient is what disqualified you in that assessor's experience. And that is like, how do you strategize out of that? And so I really just wanted to, I was excited for you to be able to share this experience with Pri to get some professional insight about how that doesn't have to be other people's experience.
Right. And it was funny because I think like the hormones, you had talked about it, but like you can go foggy on certain like times of the month. And
depending on when you're on your, like where you are in your cycle, like your menstrual cycle can also, that is true. I have read that.
And I go blank, can stare at the ceiling. Unless I have a really good book that I want to read, I could literally do nothing but like nothing for a whole week. And I just come out of it and then I'm just like productive. And then the world's on my back because I didn't do shit the week before. And I know that I always have this week and I know that I should track it so that when I do if I have to get tested again, I can know to do it this week. But do you know that I have never tracked the day? I can always tell now, but I still can never put it in my calendar to be like, this is the week, Lauren, this is the week. And yeah. So I'm sorry.
That's so ADHD of you because like I don't know about y'all. I've been having a period for a very long time. Every time it comes, I'm still like, oh, that's why.
You surprised.
Yeah, that's why. Last week was hell. Or that's why I was all in my feels. My husband tracks it better than I do because he'll be like,
Right. Here she go with that shit.
Chandra like, let me have her Thai food ready.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, like the point you're making about the hormones, this is like such a perfect example of where like the medical world fails women and fails like Black and brown women, especially because the study that showed that ADHD is impacted by estrogen, which is why in perimenopause and menopause, it often gets markedly worse. And why in certain parts of the month, it gets worse for us because like after you ovulate, you've got that drop in estrogen, which influences dopamine and all the neuro stuff. But like that study came out like last year. Up until then, nobody wanted to do the research. And that's true for women across the health, right? Like nobody wants to invest in doing the research on us because we're just like emotional. We're just crazy. We're just like a pain in the ass. So like you go deal with your feelings and like we're going to ignore you without like noticing that like there's very legitimate reasons for why things got harder at certain points or like why, a week of the month, your brain can't function because like you're just lacking in the neurotransmitters that you need. But it's so much easier to put some sort of like sexist BS explanation to it. And so like that right there is part of why we see more diagnosis now because now there's some research that backs it up, but nobody was looking at women before. Nobody was looking at hormones before. So I think that's just like part of that problem perpetuating and like why, I mean, now things are shifting. Well, things were shifting until, women became a non-researchable word.
Right.
So they were shifting. Now we'll see where we stand still for a while.
That bitch. Oh my God. The reason for everything terrible right now. But yes, friend. I don't know. Everything, all roads always lead back to we could have had it. We could have had it good. If the pretty brown and if the Black and Indian lady could have just been the president, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. But it's okay. It's okay. Friend, you said something earlier that I want you to just take almost like a mile marker because it might be a word that's new to some people and I would love to understand your definition of it. Masking. Can you explain what masking is and how it impacts the lives of people living with ADHD? Like I'm sure there's some type of emotional toll that comes with masking or trying to meet neurotypical expectations, but what is the word?
Thank you for calling that out. I get scolded by my husband for this, where I like use therapy words and don't realize that I'm using therapy words. Granted, some of the words he claims are therapy words, that's just him.
That's hilarious.
So masking is like the process by which you actively shift your behavior or your appearance or your actions, your words, etc., to like be more socially acceptable or palatable or neurotypical seeming. So we see this a lot, especially with like ADHDers and autistic folks, where we're hiding. I mean, it's just like we're putting on this like version of us that is what everybody expects us to be, whereas like internally that doesn't align, and that takes energy. So the more you're masking, the more exhausted you feel, the more cognitively draining it is for you. And so that's why like the people that like mask heavily in social contexts, for example, end up totally fucking drained at the end of it, because like there's just so much energy that goes into that process. And that term is like typically used for like neurodivergence, or at least in this context. And like I think about how all of us like BIPOC folks learn iterations of that too. Like code switching, I think, is a version of masking. Changing how we dress depending on the setting or like the language that we're using. That's all like iterations of masking. And so it's just that like, putting up the version of you that you think is more socially accepted or is expected of you versus like what intuitively happens. So with ADHDers, it's not inviting people over because you don't want them to see how messy your room is, or doing like the wild clean right before someone comes over so that they don't have any idea that it's a problem. It's pretending that like you totally eat normal meals when you're living off junk food because like you can't do the whole meal plan thing. Am I hitting it too real?
Lauren, fuck your drag. She said, clock it.
I don't even cook no more. I have a meal service.
Me either, barely.
I have a meal service because it was getting to the point I was just like, I can't think about what to cook.
But look at you building a system that works for you so that you both have your nutritional needs met, and you also don't have, you check something off your list, friend. That's a win. That looks like you pivoted to me.
That right there is working with your brain instead of like beating yourself up for not doing what you think is supposed to be expected of you. Like, take the accommodation, order the DoorDash or get the meal service or get the HelloFresh like I do. And like, let that be okay. We don't need to have like drama around that. We don't need to put a moral judgment on that.
There you go.
We're getting the need met.
Yeah, I let go of that shame. Because otherwise I wouldn't be eating, or I have like a $700 DoorDash bill and I don't need that anymore.
I think like in the workplace too, like the masking stuff looks like telling somebody you're totally on top of something when you've forgotten about it and it's just sitting, or saying like you're going to meet a deadline knowing full well you're not going to meet that deadline because you know that's what that person's expecting you to say. Making up excuses to get out of your chair all the time because sitting still like makes you antsy. Like all of those are again like versions of the masking that we do in like workplaces and stuff. So like most of us are masking a lot of the time. And most of us are like trying to seem like we've got our shit together when sometimes we don't feel like we've got our shit together because that's what like everybody's expecting of us. And that's part of why I like love some of the movement in social media towards more of the mental health talk. Obviously there's some people out there that like shouldn't have the microphone and are spewing nonsense. But so many people are getting the like, okay, like I don't actually have to pretend here. Like this actually is a thing that's hard, and this is a thing that's hard for everybody out there. And so it just becomes this like way for folks to start to unmask and to make it more socially acceptable for us to own that like we're a little messy sometimes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I have a long list of masking, but I've already shared enough. So, so we're going to switch, to something that is particularly difficult for me, but I would imagine a lot of people who are experiencing ADHD, which is hustle culture, which, rewards burnout and perfectionism. What is the cost for people with ADHD or executive dysfunction? Yes, that makes sense.
You feel good about that?
Yeah.
Y'all know, right?
Executive dysfunction.
Do you want me to define that?
Yes, please. I know what it is, but you can define it for the group.
So the way I like to describe executive functioning is it's like the CEO of your brain. It's the part of your brain that's doing planning, organizing, sequencing, time management, working memory, like holding things in your memory so you can use them right away. All of those skills are housed in like one part of your brain, mostly. And that part of our brain for ADHDers doesn't function as well as it should. And so like that is the part of our brain that's most impacted. So most people like understand ADHD to effectively be about executive dysfunction, i.e. your executive functions aren't functioning, or at least not in the way that you want them to. So this is why you forget somebody's name 30 seconds after they say it to you, or why you go to work on a project and you like cannot break down the steps because it's too overwhelming and you freeze, or why you procrastinate because like you can't get that motivation system kicked on to go do things until you've got time urgency. So all of that ties into executive function. And now that I've said all that, I've totally forgotten your question because
no, that's so funny. She was talking about, so for ambitious people, hustle culture and how it rewards burnout and perfectionism. Yes. Like, what's the cost for people who have ADHD?
We get fried. Fried. So we crash out. We get sick. We stop functioning. Our like personal life turns into like a disaster zone. Our like, for me, like you can tell based on how messy our house is, like how well my husband and I are doing with our ADHD. Because like,
not you put charge of business out too. He got ADHD too.
Well, he's gonna say no. I'm gonna say yeah.
You sound like my household right now too. That is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna let you continue. That was new to me.
He and I have very different flavors of it, but I'm like 100% sure that he has it, and he will argue that he does not.
Cold world, brother. I'm right there with you in solidarity, saying that I don't have ADHD.
Come on.
So like we try to hold it together in the places where we have to, like the workplace, where the hustle is required. And then that means we don't have any capacity left for ourselves. So our relationships suffer, our home suffers, our self-care suffers. Many of us end up like actually ill. Like we burn out and our whole body is just like done. So a lot of times like neurotypicals, they talk about burnout and they're talking about like emotional burnout. Like I'm just like fried, I don't care, I don't have the capacity. For a lot of us neurodivergent folks, it's like physiological burnout. Like our bodies are just like donezo. And so you sleep too much or you can't move or you can't deal with all the sensory input because that system is on overload. That's where that one shows up a lot for me at the end of the day is the sensory piece, especially with toddlers.
Yeah.
And so the cost to us is our sense of self. It's a growing sense of shame. It's a lot of judgment. It's our health. It's our relationships. Like it is everywhere, that impact. And
that's everything. Damn.
It is. Yeah. And it's because like we're trying to hold it together for this expectation because we have this culture that like glorifies overworking, that glorifies like killing yourself to make a buck. And like we have it so backwards on like what's actually admirable.
I feel like millennials are starting to take a shift from that norm because you talked about at the top of the show, like our embracing of mental health and even therapy speak and very much like pop culture and normal conversation. I think that we're taking a step away from like team no sleep. Because girl, the way the world is on fire, we all need to be. If you don't have your health, what do you have?
Right. I do think we're doing better with that. I think like Gen Z has been doing a decent job with that too. Granted that like comes with all the jokes about like the workplaces and Gen Z and things like that.
And we got jokes for them because them jokers, they could tighten up a little bit, but we're not even going to go off on them right now. Yeah, they went
a little far, but like there's a piece of that where they were just like, this is not the center of my universe. This does not need to be the most important thing in my world. And that's like pretty revolutionary in terms of like how we're looking at work.
Yeah.
But then I saw that news article that came out this week, yesterday, where it was like Gen Z have developed something called micro retirements where every 10 to 12 months they take a week or two off of work. And we're like, y'all, that's fucking vacation.
That's a vacation, baby.
Why are we calling
I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Oh, them kids love to make up a concept that Christopher Columbus some shit.
Things.
That's a vacation, sweetheart. It's actually like, a benefit.
I was dead. My husband sent me the article. I was like, are you serious? That's like being like, every night I take a micro coma and I go unconscious.
And unless you are Michael Joseph Jackson, you are actually not in sleep-induced coma every night, all right? Rest in peace to the GOAT, but come on now.
Somebody there is fucking up the whole hustle culture. Work-life balance thing if they think that's a micro retirement, but we were.
That's funny too.
That is so funny. You brought up you've been talking about how motherhood is impacted. Literally was your introduction to ADHD for you, and you talked about how your house looks and just the quality of of life with two little people. And girl, I feel like you were singing the song of most ambitious working mothers in a particular way. But I want to ask about the distinction because I think that would really be helpful. So what are like some misconceptions about what executive function struggles actually look like in real life for moms who also just might be identifying with what you're saying, but not quite sure if it's just like, I'm just in a season of life where I'm perpetually underwater and overwhelmed, or if it really might be, no, baby, having that baby might have actually shifted something in how your brain works. If you can speak a little bit to me personally and the rest of the listeners who might be trying to navigate that.
Yeah, that is a very tricky line. And I think that's where a lot of moms struggle because like the mental load of motherhood in our culture is batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. And so like there is objectively too much stuff that we are tracking on. There is objectively too much stuff for us to like keep in our mind, to keep like working with. And so of course we're overwhelmed. Of course we're having a hard time. Of course some things are slipping because we're like one human. Like I was just reading something earlier this week about how moms today are working a lot more, but also having more quality hours with their children per week than moms in the 1980s. Mm-hmm. And so like we've just dialed up our expectations everywhere. So of course we're struggling. And so, yes, that is a tricky place to untangle. And so one of the questions I like to ask is like, how pervasive is that sense of overwhelm? Is it located within like your family and your home, or is it showing up everywhere? And then how impactful is that? Because one of the components of ADHD is that it is impactful to you. It is showing up in multiple parts of your life, and it can be debilitating in a lot of parts of your life. So every ADHD symptom is something that everybody does at some point in time. Everybody forgets somebody's name. Everybody double books an appointment. Everybody loses something. Yeah. And that is part of the whole, like, everybody's a little ADHD narrative that drives me bonkers because no, everybody's not a little bit ADHD, because when you have ADHD, it's fucking all the time. And it's really like, you feel impaired. Like it is debilitating.
It's like you cannot be a little bit pregnant. You're not a little bit pregnant. You're not a little bit ADHD.
Right.
Let's be for real.
But yeah, like I think this is where like working with somebody to be able to work your way backwards and figure out like where it might have shown up earlier and the different iterations of how it might have shown up earlier can be really helpful. Okay. So like if you have always been good at breaking down your projects, if you've always been good at like meeting your deadlines and working on things when you wanted to, and now in motherhood that's become impossible, that might be a motherhood load. But if you always procrastinated, but you were really smart, so you always pulled it off and you got a good grade, or kind of just flew by the seat of your pants and it mostly worked out because, again, you were ambitious and smart, like, but you weren't really great at making a plan. If like it's always been hard for you to stay organized, if things do fall out of your brain all the time, and that's just dialed up now because of motherhood, that is when we're seeing like the difference between some of the ADHD versus the mental load of motherhood. So that is where the like looking backwards becomes really useful and frankly necessary to kind of distinguish the two.
Thank you for that. I think that is a very helpful distinguishing, like that is a very helpful distinction for lay people who are also just trying to figure out, because we are inundated with a lot of messages right now on social media, especially, and everybody likes to self-diagnose. So I think it's very helpful to have very clear criteria, but of course, consult your own mental health professional. But that's very helpful to have some guiding posts, right, for people at home. Thank you for that.
And like the asterisk on there, like we were talking about before, is a lot of people, when I say like, was it there before, like myself included, the first answer is no. And so it's really thinking about like what stuff has felt hard because like maybe you powered through and it was okay. Or like you had that story that you were lazy, but because you got the good grades, nobody was concerned. That was me, right? Like I procrastinated every single thing. I was working on every paper the night before it was due. I was doing the homework in the hallway before the classroom. And I'm bright. So I pulled it off. I had straight A's.
Yeah.
Teachers loved me, and like everything would fall out of my brain the second the test was over because I just like crammed it in there, and then working memory took care of it. And so like I could pull it off, but that was stressful. That meant like so many late nights. That meant so many, like so much shame around like beating myself up for waiting when I knew that I needed to work on something, but just like couldn't make myself do it. And like that experience probably isn't present for the moms that have the mental load piece of it, but don't have the ADHD piece of it. They probably won't be able to look back and like pick up that shame thread through their whole life or that judgment thread through their whole life.
I got you. That's wonderful. And that's like the perfect segue to the next question that Lauren has for you.
Yes. So after you have realized that perhaps I do have ADHD, what does repair look like? When you drop a ball, miss a deadline, forget something meaningful, how do we rebuild trust without spiraling into shame?
Yeah. Are we talking self-trust or trust with others? Those are different
both. Wait, damn, how much time we got?
I'm about to say, we got like maybe 2 more questions max for Pri. Her time is really valuable.
Right,
Come on.
Right. Whichever one you think is the most juiciest for our listeners.
Oh, I mean, self-trust is always juicy, but I'm guessing your question was more like, how do you get other people to trust you? And I think this is where like accountability and like owning your shit is really important, because like ADHD can be an explanation. It shouldn't be an excuse. And I think a lot of people conflate those two things. So I'm bad at being on time because my brain does time differently. Time management is just never going to be a thing. I'm never going to be on time. That's just not how my body will naturally do things. It is, however, my responsibility to then account for that, or to come up with more timers or more systems and try to be on time. And so people should be annoyed with me when I'm late. I hesitate to say that because I'm late all the fucking time. But is like, I can't say like, oh, I have ADHD, like whoopsies, and then be done there. Like, it is my responsibility to do something about it. Now, I have kind of taken the whoopsies route on the time thing, but that's a different story. But like when you're talking to somebody, you can be like, I totally dropped the ball on this. This is actually really hard for my brain. And here's what I'm doing to try to address that in the future. Here's how I'm accommodating for it. Here's the change that I made in my workflow to help make sure that doesn't happen again. And that is what helps like take that accountability with like still understanding of like, the way I thought I could do this is not the way my brain will allow me to do this. And I totally dropped the ball and I'm sorry. And here's what I'm going to do with that knowledge. And then on the self-trust side, like self-trust, one of the things I talk about a lot with people is shifting the definition of what that means, because I think a lot of us think self-trust means I believe I will always do the thing I say I will do. I believe that I will follow through on all the promises that I've made to myself. And if I don't, then I can't trust myself. And I actually really encourage people to think about self-trust as like, I trust my ability to manage whatever the fuck comes up for me. I trust my ability to work my way through those feelings and to like pivot accordingly. So it isn't, I will never be late again. And since I am late, I no longer trust myself. It's like, okay, well, when I am late and I feel ashamed about it, I can navigate my way through that. I can listen to that feeling. I can learn something from it. I can address that need. And so that pivot in self-trust, I think, is really, really helpful for us ADHDers, because if we say that we have to be consistent to be trustworthy, we're setting ourselves up for failure. We don't do consistency. We can do persistence, and that's where we can trust ourselves, but we can't do consistency, or we are very unlikely to.
Girl. That is a whole ministry. I mean, that's a sermon right there. I love, and honestly, it answered the next 3 questions that we kind of had queued up. You really dove right into them. I was going to say, what are some affirming things on the other end of people who are in, maybe people who are in partnership or relationship with people who have ADHD, just what makes like an affirming space to kind of be in community with you all. I'm saying you because it might be a both and me. There was a question we did have around like what makes an ADHD affirming workplace or relationship, and I don't know if you would just want to like add a little bit extra to that part.
Yeah, I think that comes from allowing for accommodations, and allowing for communication around like what somebody needs, even if it's outside of the norm of what is expected, rather than saying, I'm going to expect you to do this task in this way. An affirming way of doing it is saying, this is the like end result we need. What do you need to be able to get that done? How do you work? Or like when I meet with people and my employee, I like ask like, what are your communication preferences? What sensory stuff do you have that I should be aware of? Do you need to sit still or can you wander around when you talk to me? Like those are all like neurodiversity affirming ways of like allowing people to do whatever they need to do and be whoever they need to be. And in partnership, sometimes that looks like, hey, I know that you're not good at this thing. Is there something I can do to support you with that? Like my husband has now, and this would annoy some people, so talk to your partner before you decide to do this, but it's helpful for me, where he has now started telling me not just like, hey, we need to like leave at X time, but he'll be like, hey, we need to leave at X time, so you should probably start getting ready at Y time. And then when Y time rolls around, he's like, okay, so like, remember when you took an hour to get ready and like now would be the time to go do that.
He's so I get lovingly like, at that. That's very, very, I love that you're receptive to that.
Yeah, like, no, that's you calling, like he asked me what would be helpful. Exactly. Yes,
and you've
asked. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I need the reminders. I need you to like track the passage of time for me because I'm sure as fuck not doing it.
Oh my
goodness. So he did that. And then he asked me, like, was that okay? And I was like, yeah, actually, that was super helpful because I know he's not doing it snarkily and I know he's not doing it out of anger. Because like this is already established as like what we both need to function. So there's no like heated emotionality behind it.
Yeah. It's a system.
True romance right there. Hello? If you ask me.
I think it is.
That's a real lover boy over there. We got to give it up. Give it up for Prince lover boys.
He's gonna love this segment.
I go up for Chandra. That's a good man. But okay, I feel like we have maybe like 2 more wrapping it up questions for you. So these will be real quick and cute. Lauren, I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, what's one thing you're still curious about when it comes to your own brain or behavior?
Like everything. Oh, that is such a good question.
I thought
I'm
so
curious
too.
about a lot. Like, I feel like I'm always listening to something and learning something and like figuring it out. I'm curious to see how perimenopause is going to hit me when that comes. / terrified.
I'm about to say, talk about jump scare. Even ADHD aside, I think it's a very understudied and misunderstood. Even it happens to every fucking woman in the history of humanity. If this was men, do you know that we would be able to get drugs down to the 7-Eleven with the hot dogs?
My goodness, yeah.
For perimenopause and menopause? I'm terrified. I too am scared.
I saw a meme the other day that had like it was some 90s reference. And it was like, if you know what this is, it's time to start talking to your doctor about perimenopause. And I was like, that is fucking rude.
That is so funny. Was it like a cassette tape? Was it like a cassette player?
It wasn't. Oh my God, it's going to bug me if I can't remember what it was exactly.
Overhead projector? When your teacher brought it in the room with geometry prompts?
I feel like it was more recent than that. And that's why it made me salty.
Hold on.
Because it was like...
Like the first generation iPod, like something crazy.
I think, you know what? It wasn't even like an image. It was, if your birthday is before 1990, it's time to start talking to your doctor about perimenopause. And I was like, please stop.
I feel personally attacked. I don't understand why. It's okay. We're going to be fine, sisters. It's all right.
Can I get a estrogen pack? I'm going to just strap it to my back.
Like nicotine. Oh my God. Well, another question we have for you, Pri, is what do you want more women of color navigating ADHD to know that no one told you? So like, what's your cheat code?
Oh, that is a good one. I mean, honestly, I feel hesitant to say this because Lauren's bit you in the ass, but like advocate for yourself and like know what's going on for you. Come up with that info, show up with it. Like, I love it when clients show up with that information. Yeah. I just did an assessment with somebody who had like pages of notes on like all the ways that she met the criteria and all the things, and like find a provider that like believes you versus like looking to catch you. And I think some of that is like, you know, the more melanin your provider has, like a little bit more likely they are to believe you in the first place, which is shitty, but true. Like nobody wants the like gold star for ADHD. Like I don't know where this narrative that it's like a trendy, fun thing to have came from, because it fucking sucks when you have it. It's hard. I'm not trying to get like a t-shirt and join that. I mean, actually, I kind of would love a t-shirt that says that. Yeah. But like nobody is doing that for like shits and giggles. Yeah. Assessments are expensive.
Or attention. And you're not doing it for attention. Like, this is not something I'm doing for fun.
Not at this big age. Like, especially for late diagnosed people. Like, what the fuck do I gain for being like, hi, I'm 35 and I'm losing my shit?
You're not getting any extra time on your standardized test. You're not getting your homework assignments early. You're like, no, baby, I'm just trying to stay employed. Okay?
Right. That's it. That's all. Yeah. I need that raise. I didn't factor in that raise. And here I am like, well, you know what? I did do that. And that too. No. And I can play with my money. That's like playing with my body. I don't believe in that.
Oh my goodness.
I think the other, just a quick add on to that, like I wish more people understood that you can interview your provider before you meet with them. You can ask questions. I tell everybody, you should be asking your provider, tell me how you understand like ADHD and how it's different in women versus men. Tell me what you know about being a BIPOC human and how ADHD presents. Ask those questions beforehand, and they should be able to fucking answer. And if they can't answer or they get defensive about it,
and if they get stuck, baby, that's not for you. That person is not. You know,
out.
Yeah, we gotta date providers like we date these.
Y'all are in happy, loving relationships. I am over here in the trenches.
All right, you're like, I'm dating everywhere. I'm dating psychiatrists. I'm dating these niggas. I'm trying to figure. It's all right, friend.
I'm tired of dating somebody,
it's okay.
Anybody. No, but for real, that is a word. And you know what? I did that for my therapist. I know that they were tired of me because I was like, oh, this is very nice meeting you, but I don't think we're going to proceed from here. But I was so desperate when I was trying to get this diagnosis. I just went with whoever was available.
Yeah.
And that was probably my biggest regret in all of this, is that I didn't, because I had the notes, I had the papers, I had a little outline in case I started like crying, which I did. And like, okay, you got to pivot back to this, because I was just like, oh my God, like
They're
much
like,
of
bitch,
my
you're
life.
Too organized. Right, you are not. Yeah, you don't meet the criteria.
But that is so frustrating. But I don't think people realize you're allowed to ask those questions. And I think part of it is like, culturally, we assume if you've got like doctor in front of your name or you're doing that assessment, like you know what you're talking about. And that's why I've been so vocal around the fact that like I didn't learn jack shit about this in my grad school program. All this learning sought out on my own, meeting
as
with
other
neurodivergent people. Yeah, as a post-diagnosis for me.
Yeah.
And all the people that like truly specialize in neurodivergence, we've all done our own learning and trainings, and we're developing them ourselves and like connect with the other neurodivergent folks, because grad school programs do not teach you that. I barely talked about ADHD and autism. And I promise you, it was mostly about childhood. And it was probably, again, like the bouncing kid in the chair. And so don't assume just because that person says that they do ADHD assessments that they actually know what they're talking about. So ask them the questions that help you feel sure that they will see you.
That's it.
That's
We're talking. Yeah. Curiosity is the whole theme of the season. Blessed are those who ask the questions. And that is how Priyanka, what would you say to someone who's realizing, wait, maybe I've had ADHD this whole time? I feel like the cheat code is just go ahead and follow Priyanka. She has a lot of great resources and tips, strategies, tools to shift your mindset. So please tell the people where to find you.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram as @AshaCoach. I post a boatload about ADHD and all the ways it shows up and why it's hard and what to do about it. So it's a great starting ground of like, I don't know what the executive functions are. Like, go back and watch those videos because I talk about all of them and kind of walk through them. I also I have a group coaching program called Surviving to Thriving, which is like an 8-week kind of structured, let's dive into all the parts of ADHD and like figure out what's going on for you with like group coaching with me. I do individual coaching, and then I'm opening a community membership very shortly, hopefully by the time this airs. I'll do like a monthly masterclass and a monthly resource drop and a monthly coaching call, so that like you get some support, but you're not like all in on a program,
Yeah.
And like mostly to connect with the community piece, because that is the part that I think really lights people up and that like helps people feel less of that shame. It's like seeing all the other people. So that's like the heart of both the group coaching program and the membership I'm working on. And then if you want an assessment, I do those through Asha Mental Health. I do have a ridiculous wait, just like you noted, Lauren.
Like, I'm part of the problem.
I'm trying to hire. If you're a licensed psychologist, hit me up.
I love that.
So Asha Mental Health is the therapy practice. Asha Coaching and Consulting is the coaching practice. And if you're wondering why my name is Priyanka and it's all called Asha, it's because Asha means hope in Bengali, which is my family's language. I'm from India.
So beautiful.
Throws a lot of people off. A lot of people call me Asha, but
you're like, it's Dr. Pri, but nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Right. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We could talk to you forever, girl. But as you've heard, Pri is booked and busy, child. So for you coming to the main stage at Bridges and Breakdowns.
Yes.
Yeah. There's an open invitation. If and whenever you would like to come back, friend.
Please.
There's a table.
I would love to come back. Like I was telling y'all at the beginning, I don't know that I'm like as cool as the two of you, but
girl, please. You did great.
I'll be here anytime.
You want to do the full show or you just want to do the main stage?
Wait, you want to
I don't know
if
I keep up on the full show.
I'm about to say, you want to have a hot topics with us, Pri?
You want to do the I Love Men segment?
You can rate some men. It's all right. Chandra understand.
I would totally love to do that.
You know what? So when I love that. Because when we had first said we were going to do this, my thought, because we only had one guy and we only had one plan. So I was like, we can have all the ladies do the I Love Men, and then we'll just go into, but then we opted out because, I don't want people to get up, afraid or like, oh, I don't know.
No, I love listening to all those segments that you guys do. They're so fun. I just like.
Thank you.
We're here for women's rights and women's wrongs.
Women's wrongs. Yes, we are. We're taking the mask off. We don't have to be perfect.
We don't have to be perfect.
Love that. Well, friend, we are so proud of you and all the work you're doing and how you are growing a thriving community to really be a positive change agent for all of I guess I'm curious if it's mostly skewed towards millennials that you're working with, because we are in the throes of those transitional periods of life, like as adults. But you probably do have maybe you got some Gen X in the mix and some babies.
I actually have a huge age range that's actually skewed older. So I actually have a lot of 50 plus folks that never got diagnosed and now are like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And so in my group coaching program, I had all the way from sophomore in college to 65 and retired.
What a beautiful spread. That's incredible though. And there's a lot of magic, I bet, in having all of that representation.
Totally.
Friend, yeah,
I know
we'll
a
have
lady
to have
that look just like me that need to be in your class too.
Leave your mother out of this. I'm not.
Hey, you had to identify. I said she looked like me.
I mean, Aliza, you've met my dad, so you can imagine the conversations they've been having.
He's one of my favorite people in the world. Her daddy is my kind of. He need to come to the show. That's who I need to invite down to the main stage for next season. If you're listening, Baba, we love you.
It's so funny. He listens to all the podcasts that I'm on, and each time he's like, I mean, maybe I'm a little ADHD, and I'm like, sir, it is genetic. It is almost definite that you have ADHD.
That's so funny. Oh, we hope he enjoys this show. If you're listening, we love you down real bad. But all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up and we'll see you guys on the other side to finish out the show. Holla.
All right.
We hope you enjoyed that very deep dive. That was a really fun, engaging, vulnerable.
It was a little rough for me. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm proud of you though, friend. It's important. Blessed are those who ask the questions, and the questions we ask ourselves are the most important. So hopefully that blessed somebody to know.
Yes.
There are resources. We're moving from it's mental health awareness, and now we're moving into action because there are things we can do to actually improve our lives, the material conditions of other Black people who are living, and Indigenous and people of color, other BIPOC.
All people, yes.
So, we're very grateful that for National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, we could add to the conversation. This is our offering to our community. So hopefully it was something that resonated with you. And, we always like to end the show out with our PS. It is our please stop or our please start as the bridge moment, as the bridge generation. Lauren, this week, do you have a PS for the girls?
I do. My PS, specifically for Instagram, please stop showing people the reels that we like. Oh my God, I just realized that you can see what other people have been liking. Did you know
just
that?
realize that? You didn't know that?
I did not pay attention to social media for real. I am on social media more now that we have the podcast, but I legit get on there, watch a couple stories, post whatever I want to post. Right now, Facebook has all these random people that I don't know if it's it's just random funnies or stuff. And I'm like, how do I get all these people I don't know off my page? I don't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, the algorithm.
Yeah, but I didn't even know Facebook had that. I thought it was just the people.
Meta's integrated. So now IG and Facebook, same,
Yeah, I hate it. But yes, I did not realize that. And I be liking some wild stuff. Yeah. I like to laugh. I use social media for shits and giggles. So if you've ever seen me like something very OD, I meant it, but you did not see it. Okay.
That's so funny. I said what I said, but I'm blind. I'm legally blind. Don't ask me. That's so funny.
Blind too. Man,
no, it's okay.
You, Mark Zuckerberg.
That's so funny. Free speech in this whole.
That don't mean nothing no more though. I'm saying we done sold the country out. Oh, actually, I gotta please another one. Sorry. Laverne Cox.
Oh,
please stop talking.
Yeah, that T.S. Madison interview was really embarrassing,
sweetheart.
Yeah,
you and that fuck ass Bob have to shut up.
Yeah.
All right, that's all.
That's all. Okay. My please stop is for the dog owning community. I need you to understand something. Your dog will get fucked up. You having an invisible fence is not a reasonable assumption that pedestrians should be making when we are walking by your property and your dog is charging at us. I've just had too many encounters with big ass aggressive dogs who have been seemingly untethered, no leash on their property, but able to either get out of a fence that is not like an actual 6-foot fence or 8-foot fence, or just no fence at all. And the assumption should not be for a reasonable person, especially with vulnerable people with them, children, the elderly, walking my kids, whatever weapon I have on me is going to be on your dog's ass. You can call PETA, you can call whoever, the Humane Society. It's not going to keep me off your dog's ass if he is not properly secured. I just don't think you understand that everybody ain't going to assume the best out of your dog. Everybody don't even like dogs.
No.
So when I see, it's very bizarre. I just think that if you have an invisible fence, you should have an actual sign that says you have an invisible fence. Because I'm not going to assume. And if your dog gets harmed in the process, I ain't going to have no remorse about it. I'm sorry to tell you. So be it. So be it, baby. I just don't think that's a reasonable or responsible thing. And God forbid, if it's between me and my kids and your dog, I'm sorry. Baby boy going to heaven every time. But this all dogs go to heaven.
All dogs go to heaven.
So, yeah, I just think
I might put some on the GoFundMe. But
I'm not even doing that. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. So press me if you want to. Your dog's going to go meet their maker if they come over here. So, I just think we need to be a little bit more responsible. People are real like unhinged. I'm saying more people are taking dogs on like leashless walks. It just gets real antisocial. Your dog might see a squirrel and get excited. And what might normally be a non-aggressive dog turns aggressive. And y'all in these rescues, y'all just got to...
The world is not training y'all dogs during COVID.
And y'all are training them. They weren't.
So those dogs are just lost to the cause when it comes to like training.
Yeah.
And they will get stumped out. But that's also why I don't walk. Well, my friend, I walk her dog, but she lives in a pretty decent area where like, the dogs aren't too crazy. But my cousin.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, her dog crazy. She done fell multiple times because her dog saw a rabbit. And he done dragged her down the street. And I'm just like, Lord Jesus.
Y'all are. Yeah, I think there's like a dereliction of duty as dog parents. And y'all are not setting them up for success because my assumption is going to be danger.
Pew pew.
Yeah. Sorry to tell you. But that's my please stop. Come on. Cut the shit.
Protect your dog.
Well,
protect your dog. Keep it safe from the world.
I'm sorry. I'm like, protect the dog. Protect us. Protect me and my kids and the shorties.
That's true, but they don't care about anybody else. So I'm saying,
it's very antisocial.
Protect your dog. Yeah. Protect your dog. Make sure that you keep them with you.
Let's frame it in that positive. Yes, if you want your dog to be with you, let us know that we're all safe. Let everybody know where the boundaries are because I'm not going to assume. So, all right. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We love y'all.
Millennial
Like,
Pose.
Subscribe. We are available wherever you get your podcast. Watch us on YouTube. It really helps. If you enjoy the show, share it with a friend.
Please.
We will see y'all next time.
Text us.
Text us.
If you got our number. If you got our number, I mean, DM us, send us TikToks,
you're enjoying it.
Also, almost forgot, send us any questions that you have for Pre or any of the other
guest
subject matter experts that we've had. They are patiently waiting for our guest questions.
So we're trying to collate them so we can pick some good ones. So you might
some of the best questions.
Yes. All right. We love y'all. See y'all next week. Bye.